we have a very special guest, Mr. Manu Rajan. I actually met Manu 2 years ago in 2022. Manu was heading the Wing Bank. He's the divisional CEO of Wing Bank, and I was honestly fascinated with Wing's strategy. So I went up to Manu and I asked him, Manu, I really don't understand what kind of bank you are. Are you guys a neo bank? Are you a commercial bank? Are you a development bank? Or are you an investment bank? And Manu came up to me and said, he's like, Shanaka, I'm going to give you an answer. Let me finish my speech. And during his speech, he said that he wants to be an everything bank. He wants to be a banker for every Cambodian. And every year when I come here, I see Manu and Wing Bank going a step closer to that vision. So let me please introduce Mr. Manu Rajan, the divisional CEO of Wing Bank. Manu?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shanaka. The session before lunch is always difficult. So very good morning. I know I'm standing in between you and lunch. Unlocking prosperity is something that we're going to talk about just before lunch. Most of you sitting in this room know Wing Bank more than I do. So I am a novice when it comes to telling you the history of Wing Bank, because most of you have been here shaping the financial services industry in this country remarkably as a case study to the rest of the world. So I'm not going to talk about who we are. You all know who we are. We are one of the fastest growing digital first commercial banks in Cambodia. When the results come out this year, you will see why I say we are the fastest growing digital bank. So that's for you to read from the National Bank reports. But this is important because what we're going to talk about today, and like Shanaka said, we wanted to be the bank for every Cambodian, stems from this vision. And this vision actually started 15 years ago when we started as a mobile financial services company. So we put this vision in place and never wavered from this vision since then. But 4 things we emphasize when we talk about our vision. One is convenience. You have to make things easy. If it is not easy for a customer to use, then it's not worth even trying. Second, it has to be relevant. If it is not relevant, useful, not relevance in terms of need satisfying ability of the product, but also relevance in terms of pricing, also relevance in terms of affordability, aspirational value for the customer. If it's not relevant to me, then it's not even worth trying. It has to improve the lives of every person. It has to make your life a little better than it was yesterday. If it doesn't do that, it is not worth trying. And fourth, and the most important, it has to be for everybody. It has to be for every Cambodian. Be it the rich man, the poor man, the boy, the girl, it doesn't matter who you are. It has to be relevant, convenient, and must be making your life easier if you are a Cambodian. If you are an expat also included, living in Cambodia. Now, the story started 15 years ago. So some of you will be more aware of that than me, but some of you might be hearing it for the first time. I'll try to make it as fresh as possible. So this whole story started 15 years ago because of one single digital device, the mobile phones. The mobile phones revolutionized the way we live our lives. 15 years ago, when we started, almost half of the world's population had a digital device called mobile phone in their hands. And almost 50% of developing countries had it, and developed countries had almost everybody had it. But in developing countries, almost 50% of the population had a digital device called the mobile phone. And Cambodia was no different. This is how the mobile phone penetration soared in Cambodia soon after we started. Some of you, if you have been closely monitoring the mobile telecom network operators' performances, you will see that after 2010 is when this entire sudden spurt in the penetration of mobile phones happened, and that is when the revenue of mobile phones also started going down. We are no different. You will see this sudden increase in mobile phone penetration in Cambodia from 2010, because that's when the price war started. Everybody saw there is money to be made in the market, jumped in. And the easiest thing to do when you come into a new market is to do predatory pricing. And in a market like Cambodia, where the scale is a question mark, because we are only 17 million in population and only 10 million in adult population, predatory pricing is not a happy news. But that actually made sure that the SIM card penetration soared to more than 100%. Today, with over 120% mobile phone penetration, Cambodia, and with over 100% smartphone penetration, Cambodia, almost everybody, at least technically on paper, has access to a digital device called the mobile phone. But while all this was happening in Cambodia and the rest of the world, there was a brilliant case study that was getting made in eastern side of Africa, in a country called Kenya. So there was a telecom operator called Safaricom, which is part of Vodafone and Vodacom, decide and noticed one thing. In that country, which was relatively unsafe for people to carry money in their hands, people were using mobile top-up as a mobile top-up as a token to send money from one person to another. In 2007, Vodacom executives saw this taking place in the market, and he realized that there is an opportunity for a new product called mobile financial services or mobile money. And he formalized that whole thing under the brand name M-Pesa. And in 2007, when M-Pesa launched, and after 2 years, they claimed they reached 40% of the adult population in Kenya, and about 2/3, also in another report, they say 2/3 of the households. So while this was happening, this was revolutionizing the way financial inclusion was being driven with the help of mobile phones. The National Bank of Cambodia and ANZ Royal Bank in Cambodia at that time decided to emulate the same success of M-Pesa in Cambodia. So Royal Group, which was a minority stakeholder in ANZ Royal, they went to the National Bank asking for a license. And unfortunately, at that time, there was no license for mobile financial services. We had lots of banks. We had 33 banks in Cambodia, and we were the #1 country when it came to total number of banks per bank population, because we only had 9% of the 14-odd million population at that point in time with a bank account. So it was not the dearth of banks that was not driving financial inclusion. So National Bank said, we do not have a license and we do not even have regulations to regulate a mobile financial services company. So they sent a team, a delegation went from here to Kenya to study how M-Pesa is carrying out the business in Kenya, and came back and they decided that instead of saying this, you should give it to the National Bank, instead of saying no to an alien concept, they said, we don't have a regulation, so let's start this as a pilot project and learn together. So it was started as a pilot project in 2008, technically, and launched in 2009 as a mobile financial services company. We were a third party. Some of you sitting here from FTB will know how we started. And we became, in the process, Cambodia's first failed fintech. Because nobody learns anything from success. Everybody learns from failures. So we became the first failed fintech. In 3 years of our existence, we did about $60 million worth of transactions. In 3 years, $60 million worth of transactions. Today, we do $120, $130 million per day. So you can imagine how what $60 million put in context means at that point in time. So that is when ANZ Royal decided to wind up the company, and they decided to close it down. Insolvent company, a lot of money lost. So this business model is not going to work in Southeast Asia. It works in Africa, good, but it doesn't work in Southeast Asia. Let's close it down. But the current chairman of Wing Bank, Neoknya Kitmeng, he saw potential in the business model, and he told ANZ Royal that you sell it to me, an insolvent company. What value will you put on a contract? So they sold it for $1. So he bought Wing for about $1. So Wing is a $1 company in November 20th, 2011 is when they actually sold the company for $1. And from there on, you know the story. So we sort of turned around the business. The business got turned around not because of anything else that we did other than changing our mindsets. Right? Everything changes with mindsets internally. So instead of approaching the unbanked as a bank, we approached them as a mobile financial services company. And we said, you don't have to do a KYC. You don't have to bring your ID. The IDs were not so deeply penetrated. The old ID was not so deeply penetrated at that time. The new IDs came only during that time. So we said, you don't have to bring your ID. You bring your mobile number, because your mobile number is your unique identity. And you use your mobile number to send money from another person, one person to another person. So, and you do that not using the USSD menu that was in English, and Cambodia is predominantly non-English speaking. So you don't use the USSD menu, you just ask the agent to do that. The agent will carry out a digital transaction on your behalf. So that's how this whole assisted digital transaction model came into being, and then it just took off. And last year, we did about $47 billion worth of transactions through the agents, which I understand the GDP is understated, but still, given the GDP numbers, that's almost double the GDP numbers. And over a period of time, we have led many innovations, and today, we are a commercial bank. That's the biggest advantage, because you could take all the commercial banks, take all the financial institutions, take all the ATMs owned by them, take all the offices owned by them. It is still half of the agent network and bank branches that we have. And at the heart of the system, as you know, are agents. If you didn't know the number, 80% of them are women. And I must admit, just serendipity, we didn't intend to make being agents women. But Cambodian households discovered that this is a good second income for the household, and it just so happened that 80% of them are stay-at-home mothers. We have all the touch points that make it easy, convenient, and relevant for you. You have a smartphone, you have an app. You don't have a smartphone, you have a USSD menu. You don't have a phone, you can go to the agent. You have a plastic card that you can use as your identity. You can go to the agent. You don't have an account, or you are too shy to have a formal bank account, then you don't even have to have an account. You can go use for the people who hold a poor ID card. They may not even have a mobile phone with them. They may not even have a mobile number. So for them, we use facial recognition and the poor ID card to create an account for them. And when they come to cash out the money, that the disbursed amount of fund from World Bank through Royal Government of Cambodia, we actually do KYC for them. So we cover 100% of Cambodia now. So all that happened in the past 15 years. And then one day we decided to upgrade ourselves to a bank. So we asked that question just like any one of you. So we will ask that question saying, there are almost 60 banks in the country, so why do you want to be another bank? This positioning statement actually came from the chairman. So he asked him the same question. He asked, you already have another bank in the group. We as a market, have close to 60 banks. Now, we also saw 15 years ago that it is not the dearth of banks that drive banking penetration. 33 banks, 9% bank population at that point in time. So he said, no, but this bank is going to be the bank for every Cambodian. Now that positioning statement came from him. Now, but we literally took that seriously. And as Shanaka said, if you are a bank for every Cambodian, you have to be the everybody man. Then there is a reason why the other banks don't say we are the bank for every Cambodian. And no bank in the world says we are for every Cambodian. You can say, but we can't do. Why? Because of obvious reasons of operational cost, efficiency, return on invested capital. So it doesn't make a practical decision to say you are the bank for every Cambodian. But we did. And then when we built the bank, we built it up with the help from technology partners like Mitra. We built it up in such a way that today, if all 17 million, including the young children, 17 million population of Cambodia opens a bank account and puts the minimum amount that they save per month into that bank account, we will still be able to serve them profitably and professionally. So that's how we built, so that's why that statement and that vision, the statement resonates quite well with the vision of not discriminating, not excluding anybody, driving financial, gender, and digital inclusion in the country. So then we said, if you're the bank for every Cambodian, walk the talk. And you have to build it in such a way that you are the bank for every Cambodian. Now, being a bank for every Cambodian also means that you have to now, instead of facilitating transactions and monetizing transactions, you have to now start monetizing money. Now, when you start monetizing money, you need funds to monetize money. And you know, Cambodia as a market, there is a lot of, all of you must be familiar, a lot of allegations by media and institutions outside of Cambodia about being overrated, about being harsh in collection practices, and so on and so forth. So I also put a couple of slides here to just put context straight. I know it's slightly out of context, but I just put this there so that you all get to see this. I'll put the sources of this information there. So this is the report that everybody looks at and says, oh, Cambodia is overrated. When I look at my gross national income per capita, it is about $1,800 or $1,700. But when I look at the per capita loan, it's about $4,500. Cambodia is overrated. I don't want to take risk. I don't want to give any financial funds. But what is also important to notice is that Cambodia, day before, the Deputy Prime Minister was saying almost 60% of the population is less than 25 years of age. Now you have majority of the population in school and not taking part in economic activity. What relevance does the GNI per capita have? Right? So you should be looking at the household per capita, because there are about 3.7 million households in Cambodia, and you don't divide by 17 million, you divide by 3.7 million. And then you will see that the household income is about 8,000 plus, and your loan per capita is about 4,500. So it's not 3 times the household income or GNI per capita. It is just 50% of your household income. Still maybe high, but it is not what it is made out to be. All sources are given there. Now this is what I'm talking about, young population, huge opportunity. So about 4 or 5 million of them are going to come into the bankable age in the next 5 years. And about 13 to 14 million of them have no financial protection when it comes to insurance. Insurance penetration is less than 2%, right? So 2.5, 3 million young users are looking for building a life, settling down in life in the next few years. So young population, growing country, tremendous unlocked potential existing. Then for a bank for every Cambodian, then what kind of loans are you going to give? If you are the bank for every Cambodian, what should you be focusing on? Am I looking at those $1 million loans that are getting disbursed every day? Then we also have to look at the loan market to see what kind of loans are being given. So you will see that the loan size and the average loan size that dominate the market when it comes to number of loans disbursed is tiny. People are not looking for $1 million loans. People are looking for thousands of dollars only, maybe hundreds of dollars. Timely, instantly, conveniently. And there is also allegations about collateralized loans, harsh collection practices, collaterals being forced to get sold. Not true. You look at actual numbers, majority of the loans are not collateralized. Small ticket loans that are being given without a collateral, timely, in a timely manner, in a most relevant way, whenever I'm looking for money, whenever I need cash, make sure I have access to finance. Now, what does that mean for the Cambodia, the propeller of economic growth, which is the SMEs in Cambodia? 500,000 plus SMEs. I'm referring to the IFC research that was done in 2018 and published in 2019. 500,000 SMEs, 98% micro SMEs. 95% of them are not registered. Maybe one of the reasons why the GDP is understated. Now, what are they looking at? And there is another research that was done by VACT and USAID. So that says that they're looking for about $2,000, $3,000 instant loans. They need timely loans as working capital. I might or might not have collateral against my name. 62% of the micro SMEs that research were found to be women. And these micro SMEs, and most of the problem, one of the biggest problem the women entrepreneurs face is that I have no collateral to pledge. Maybe it's either in the name of a male counterpart at home, and even if I had, I pledged it to have the capital to start the business. Now, where am I going to look for a collateral for working capital? So there is no collateral I have to give you, but I need about $2,000, $3,000 working capital. Can you give it to me? Is the question. Now, if I'm going to put a bank branch in the remotest of areas in Ratnagiri province, and then going to deploy 30 people there in the branch, and then say, okay, now everybody who needs access to capital, access to money, finance, please come to the branch and take $2,000 loan. Is it going to be viable? It's not going to be viable. So that's one of the reasons why most of you sitting here may not have a big bank branch in one of the remotest provinces. So we said our approach has to be aspirational. People should aspire to own. It should be more importantly affordable. and accessible. And you know, through the agent network, it is accessible. It may not look fancy. You still have to stand in the rain and shine and then do your banking. You don't have an air-conditioned hall. But functionally, it meets your purpose. It fulfills your purpose. You can go there. You can ask the agent, I'm eligible for a loan. We will digitally check if this person is eligible for a loan and then physically disperse the amount that the person is eligible for. Then we said, let's have a slightly more comfortable, convenient environment, ambience for banking. So we came up with the Bing Master Agent. It is still a franchise agent, but it is air conditioned. It has a waiting area. It has a few more tellers, so you don't have to wait as long as in another agent's place. And you can do a little more convenient and comfortable, have a little more convenient and comfortable banking experience. Then we also built a few state-of-the-art bank branches, which unfortunately is not needed functionally, because I'm not going to take a tuk-tuk or a taxi and then go look for a Wing Bank branch and do banking, because when I can cross the road and then find an agent and do that transaction, or I can just go to my app and then do that transaction. So that one is based out of a research report that said Cambodians as a population is actually looking for, when we asked what are you looking to see from a bank, new bank, they said we want to see big buildings, we want to see big branches, and we want to see big physical points where I can go and bank. So it just stems from that research. Sort of paid off, because a couple of years ago when we did our brand health study, it said Wing is a bank. I know Wing as a money transfer company, but I didn't know Wing was a bank. A year later, when we did the same brand health study, we became the third most recalled bank brand in Cambodia. ABA, Aslida, and Wing Bank. Just 21 branches in 21 months, high, expensive billboards, but it just suddenly overnight changed the perception of Wing being a money transfer company using agents to a bank. Then we said, is that the future? No. Though you really don't need, as I said, for somebody as sophisticated as the people who are sitting here, you really don't need to go to an agent to do a banking transaction. It is digitally available on your phone. So we said, if you're a bank, then you have to focus on banking and not be a bank. Stems from the concept, I'm going to bore you a little more, stems from the concept of failimity from Wilfredo Pareto. He said, the need satisfying ability of a product is what matters. So people may need bank, just like how we need to commute, we take we take Grab and pass up, and we don't necessarily need to own a car. So the Airbnb came, and the telcos divested their network and started sharing their network and so on and so forth. So products got service, product became services over the past 10 years, or without us realizing it. So failimity is a concept that is at the heart of all that. And we said, if you had to apply that concept to banking is what people need, not banks. You don't need a physical presence except for influencing perception reasons. So we said, let's have platforms that actually will cater to the need of the people rather than look at making money out of them. So that, again, I said, Wing became a success because we changed our thinking or our minds. We opened our minds towards the problems in the market. Not because we created something and imposed it on the people saying, we have this now you change yourself to use it. We said, no, you don't change. You do what you do, and we change to accommodate that in a convenient, relevant, inclusive way. To give you an example, I'm a salaried employee. I get money every month. I need a place to stock it. So I need a bank that can give me an account. Then I need to send money, or I need to buy a cup of coffee. It has to facilitate that payment to that coffee shop. Or maybe I need to buy something more expensive, high involvement item. I need a loan to buy that. Maybe I need to buy a house. So I need a loan. So I have needs, and money that I require, the help that I'm looking for from a bank is to help me fulfill those needs. It's not money that I'm looking for. I need the assistance to fulfill my needs. So that's how we came up with all these platforms. I know none of you use Wing because you have your own banks, but if you use Wing, you will see that all these are built inside the Wing Bank app, and multiple apps actually. Wing Bank ecosystem, let me call it Wing Bank ecosystem, which is attempting to take care of every need of every Cambodian. I wake up in the morning, I want to order coffee, you can go to Wing Mall, and there is a merchant who is selling coffee, who's trying to generate a little bit of income, put food on the table by the end of the day. You can onboard yourself on Wing Mall, you can sell the coffee to them. Now, who's going to take the coffee to the customers? There is Wing Express, so you can use Wing Express, which will carry the coffee to the customer and do the last mile fulfillment. Then I'm also a buyer of milk and I'm a buyer of coffee powder from a corporate. I can buy that using Wing Market. Wing Market has corporates built inside Wing Market, and who are the sellers to these SMEs. And the corporate can now use the other corporate services from Wing Bank. Wing Bank also has an offshoot. Wing Agri is an offshoot of the marketplace of Wing Market, B2B marketplace of Wing Market, which is custom built for agriculture industry. Here, we have an MOU with Ministry of Agriculture, and we provide access to finance and market for farmers there. And then all this is propelled through Wing Analytics, which otherwise it's difficult to take spot decisions, give, not give, facilitate, not facilitate. So it all is powered by Wing Analytics. And we have a few other, we believe in inclusive growth. So we also have a zero inventory supermarket model called Wing Mart, meant for the agents. It's easy to say access to finance, access to market, access to technology, etc. in one place. But how do you do that? So you have to walk the talk. So we disperse our loans in less than 3 minutes. We just say 3210 lending because it rhymes well. 2 minutes to apply, 1 minute to decision, 0 seconds to disperse. But technically speaking, it takes less than a minute. I will demo to you because seeing is believing. Anybody can say anything they want to say. This is the loan market. You might be knowing this already. Now, if I look at, after all this talk, this is some proof of how it is transforming. Why we say we are one of the fastest growing digital first banks in Cambodia. When I take the entire loan market, it is growing. That's the blue bar that you're seeing there. But when I look at when I take the Wing Bank loans out of it, you will see the orange line. The market is slowing down. There are less and less number of loans being disbursed. And we have about 51% of this is as of 1st of Jan, we have 51% of the total number of loans disbursed in Cambodia goes through Wing Bank. And that is if I take all the financial institutions, including the microfinance institutions, the banks and the rural credit institutions, etc. Now, if I remove all other than except commercial bank and compare against commercial bank, it's about 70+%. Now, while you are so busy giving away loans, are you also trying to make Cambodians over-indebted? No. So we are also trying to inculcate savings as a habit. Now, if any of you don't have it, this product is ideally built for you and people like you and me who are salaried, unless you own your own banks. When this is a systematic savings plan which locks up 8.75% as interest, unheard of in this market for 5 years. So you don't have to have $1 million, but you can always have a dream to save up $1 million, and you can slowly save that money over the next 5 years, and that interest rate of 8.75 will be locked for you for the next 5 years. Now, this is where all the talk has taken us. So today we have 15 million unique users, and this is last 12 months number. 15 million unique users when it comes to the unique mobile numbers. Put things in context, there are only 23 million numbers ever issued in this country. So out of 23 million last 12 months, 15 million of them came and used Wing Bank in some way or the other. So 9 million of them have registered by giving some information or the other. 47 million is the transaction volume I talked about. We do more than 1 million transactions per day, and we do more than 1,000 transactions per minute. So while we are just talking, a few thousand transactions took place. We have doubled the physical presence, you know that. 100% of the districts are covered, almost all the communes are covered. We are leader when it comes to payroll management. Almost 40% of all factory workers get paid their salaries through Wing. We are a leader when it comes to the number of loans issued. I just talked about it. Fastest in digital loan approval. We take less than 3 minutes to do that, and one of the most trusted. and a few awards that we won. Two of them that I want to talk about is one from World Bank, not World Bank, IFC, for Wing Market. So we won the one of the most innovative product introductions in 2023 from SME Finance Forum, which is part of IFC, and the most innovative digital product from MPTC here. Thank you so much. I have 10 minutes left.
You want to take some questions from the audience?
Sure, I'll definitely take questions. You may want to ask me what are we going to do next month. But let me also show you a demo so that I can also embarrass myself in front of you if it doesn't work. The things that I talked about. So this is the Wing Bank app. So those marketplaces, okay, so that basically is telling me there are opportunities around me. So this, if I click, it will show me the different offers that merchants are offering from area around me where I'm standing right now. So I'm now going to, okay, let me check it out. So if I check it out, it will show me all the merchants that are nearby and who are giving offers. And if I don't know how to go there, then I click on get direction, give me the Google map, and then I can go and find out. But let me just close that. That's not what I intended to show you. Yeah. So let's look at the loan icon. So I made big talk about this being fastest to approve loans, etc. So this is how the loan application works. So I clicked on the loan icon. So it is checking my loan history. So I have no outstanding loans. I've completed paying all my loans back on time. I have a decent CBC score. Oops, something went wrong. So that's how you get embarrassed. Okay, no worries. So usually it's supposed to work, not supposed to work like that. It's supposed to check my loan eligibility and it's supposed to show me how much I am worth. So it will give me one option, which is the highest loan amount that I'm eligible for. And then what happens is I click on it. It will pre-populate all the information that is there. And then I'm supposed to read through all that. And then I'm supposed to say, I'm okay with all this. This is the interest rate, etc. Then I click on it. It will check again CBC. And it will tell me, it will send me an OTP. And just to check that the phone number that I'm using and the information I've given is correct. And once the OTP is approved, it's my PIN. It all happens in less than 1 minute, but Murphy's law applies. What goes wrong will go wrong at the wrongest possible time. So I'm going to do a transaction to myself, so it doesn't require a PIN, so I did a transaction myself. So every transaction I do on my Wing Bank app also throws up a gamified way to sort of engage the customer. So there is a treasure hunt that takes place. So it gives me 3 treasure chest boxes to open. So I'm going to open the middle one. So I click open that and it gives me, right now it gave me about 10 Wing coins. Each coin is about 1 cent. So I got 10 cents in return for it. But when I redeem it, it actually comes and sits under the prices here. And usually this is one of the, every transaction results in a different offer. So this is one of the offers that I've got. So if I click redeem, it will open Wing Bank app, Wing Mall app, and then it will take me there to redeem this price, and the price that I won actually comes home. Sorry, that embarrasses me again. Yeah, so it will open the app, and then I can place my order and it comes home. So some of the ways, similarly you have a few other marketplaces that soon will disappear from there and will be inside some other platform. But these are the solutions that I was talking about. Sorry. So these were the solutions that I was talking about. So it comes inbuilt with working capital loan, and which is sort of a revolving credit line that the SMEs and MSMEs can take and use and then pay back and then take and use again. But these are white labeled solutions. So if I have a Coca-Cola retailer and I take a Coca-Cola loan, I can only buy Coca-Cola products with it. Similarly for Wing Agri and so on and so forth. Thank you very much.
If you guys have any questions, now's the time.
Hey Manu, I have a question just now. While you're demonstrating the mobile apps, but subsequently that you link that mobile apps actually to a marketplace, which is a Wing Mall. Is there any breach of broadcast or not? Just clarifications on it. The question is like, because it's from the mobile apps,
Yeah,
it was linked to a marketplace.
that's correct.
Because there's a broadcast release.
Correct. But
on
we
mobile
have-
apps for banking specific, it shouldn't be have any marketplace inside.
Correct,
Just a
correct.
question only on the clarification,
Yeah.
whether it breach any broadcast or not.
Askat knows that better, and soon that is going to disappear from there, and it will have to be removed out of the banking app, and the banking app will only have payment or banking Prakash related services that over there. But that essentially means that as a solution in the market, it doesn't disappear. So it's just that the interface that you use to access the solution is going to change from a mobile banking app.
So as long as
We'll move
it's-
somewhere
it
else.
provide the linkage to the marketplace, that's fine, right?
I'm not sure. So that is the National Bank to tell us. I'm not sure. But right now, the Prakash says you have to remove it from the mobile banking app.
Yeah, move it out.
So yeah, so it's in the, I think there is a few more weeks left to comply.
Okay.
So it will disappear soon from there, but it will reappear somewhere else.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time and the opportunity.
For Wing and sharing your vision of becoming a bank for every Cambodian.